Hi, my name is Bhumi. I am your life and relationship coach, and today's topic is about how to thrive in a long distance relationship. So I'm going to be giving you 7 tips that are the must do's if you are sincere about your long distance relationship. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe because I do publish these videos once or twice a week and they can be really useful. And if you like my videos, give them a thumbs up and feel free to share them because the whole aim of my videos is to help as many people as we can. Okay, so let's get into the topic. Long distance relationships can be exciting and stressful at the same time, right? Because, hey, relationships can be difficult even when you're in close proximity, and add miles, sometimes 100 or over 1,000 of miles to that, you can add a few sort of, complications to it without even knowing. So how do we get beyond the hurdle of the distance? And how can we maintain a long-term solid relationship? This video has come about with a request as well, so I hope that my viewers who have requested this do benefit from it. And so let's get into it. Attraction is just amazing, isn't it? Attraction and intimacy when you are with someone is just blissful. But when you add distance to it, you have to often redefine what you mean by intimacy and attraction. So let me do that for you. A disclaimer, if you do see me looking there, it's because I've got my notes there so I don't go off track too much. And if you do hear a bell, that's my cat. She is trying to be a bit cheeky this afternoon. So there we go. Can't control her. That is one person I cannot, say sit and we'll sit. No, that doesn't happen. So let's redefine intimacy and attraction when it comes to, long distance relationship, because intimacy and attraction isn't the same when you have hundreds, if not thousands of miles between you two, right? So when two people like each other, they sort of try to understand each other's likes and dislikes, their boundaries, their schedules. When you're in a long distance relationship, you have to think of intimacy more than a physical bond, because now it becomes an emotional and a mental simulation, right? So you want to sort of try and respect and communicate each other's likes, dislikes, like you would in any relationship, but also bring in the schedules and the time differences and all sorts of things that you may be dealing with. And how do we redefine attraction? Well, attraction is redefined because here you're trying to build an emotional and psychological attraction before you even come into contact physically. So here you have to add a lot of care for someone into your attraction. You have to genuinely want to care and want to be with that person, even if you're miles away. And that is what attraction is redefined as when it comes to sort of long distance relationships. If you have questions around this and if you are struggling to understand that, feel free to get in touch with me and I'd be more than happy to help or sort of, coach you on some of these aspects of long distance relationship. But hoping, and let's say we assume that you understand that when a long distance relationship is concerned, intimacy and attraction are very different than what it would be face to face. Let's jump straight into the tips that I can give you to make it work, okay? The first tip is to communicate well and enough, but do not overdo it. And that says it all, right? Just because you're not physically in the same location or in the same county or country does not mean that you have to be chatting with each other or texting each other or communicating for like 10 or 12 hours a day. That is overdoing it, because here the first thing we spoke about intimacy is redefined. You don't want to be constantly getting on nerves with somebody and constantly like messaging somebody or, not giving them the space to breathe, right? So that's overdoing it. So make sure you communicate well and that's enough for both of you. Could be text messages over a couple hours, you know, a couple messages every few hours, whatever works for you and your partner. So make sure there is a clarity around that. And also do it efficiently. Okay, so don't waste a lot of time on text messages for, you know, just general chit chat that you can basically cover up when you're speaking to each other on the phone. Okay, so be very efficient in your communication. The tip number 2 is build trust and stay honest. Now, this is difficult in any relationship, but when you add distance to it, you have to work extra hard to build trust, okay? And remain honest and loyal to that significant other because of the physical distance. You know, there are temptations, there are sort of distractions. So you want to absolutely make sure that you are honest and you build that trusting environment for yourself and your partner, and you have a certain sort of boundaries discussed and likes and dislikes discussed and sort of understood in advance. Okay, if you do become dishonest in situations like these, do remember things do tend to come out. They have a very funny way of coming out, and it can really destroy your relationship on a long-term basis if you are sincere about this person. So build trust, stay open, stay honest, and flex yourself as and when you need to sort of accommodate your partner's sort of, you know, certain insecurities. Just because if they haven't spoken to you in 2 days, you've been extremely busy on a project, remember that they may feel a little bit out of place, and it's your opportunity to reaffirm that trust and openness in that relationship. Tip number 3 is agree on an agreeable way to have an argument or a fight. Now, if anyone said that good relationships don't have an argument, they are kidding themselves, okay? Because passion is all around in a relationship, and a way that passion often comes out is through arguments when two people do not agree on certain situations. So make sure you discuss this with your partner and you sort of have ground rules on how to argue. Because look, when you are even physically present with each other, arguments can be very damaging and emotionally soul crushing, right? You don't feel good about it. You never feel good about it. But you do have disagreements and you do have to put your point forward. So make sure you agree a way that works for both of you. And learn to bring time out, right? So if you are doing a video call and if you've suddenly got into an argument or a disagreement, remember that if both of you is getting out of control or emotional about it, then one of you needs to say, time out. Let's come back to this in an hour, right? So remember to do that. Have an agreeable way to disagree. The 4th tip is to create emotional space for each other. And by this, what I mean is, you know, once a week, definitely get on a video call and make it a 2 to 3 hour video call, like a date night, where you have your drink together, have the dinner you've cooked or sort of ordered together, and spending that time 2 to 3 hours just chit-chatting and doing whatever it is that you like, about 2 to 3 hours, which is like a perfect date night. And at the end of it, if you do like, and if you are sort of courageous and open and honest with each other, add in a bit of flirtation, add in a bit of sensual talk or sexy talk at the end of it as well, you know. So end it on an extremely positive high note that emotionally and psychologically ticks you both off, right? So don't be shy to sort of bring in intimacy, sexy talk and flirtation into your date nights, right? So create that emotional space and psychological attraction for each other. Tip number 5 is definitely create a plan to visit each other. If you're going to be away for a long period of time, or if you're living in 2 different countries, have a plan, you know, get your planners out on a video call one of the date nights and just discuss when can you meet each other. So is it every 2 months? Is it every 3 months? Is it financially and otherwise possible to meet every month? So have a plan ready to meet each other, okay? And if you are meeting every 3 to 6 months, make it a longer term sort of meeting, like a week or 10 days, you know, so where you can spend a lot of good time together, because that can often be the pivotal moment of make or break a relationship. and you need that, okay? So please create a plan to visit each other, and please do not cancel or reschedule them, especially if this is something that's happening every 3 months or 6 months. Please do not cancel it for a football game or for a night out with girls or for someone's birthday. Simply avoid it. You have to focus and stick with your plans, okay, if you're sincere about your partner. Tip number 6 is do things together, even when you're apart. Like, you know, watching a documentary together, for example. So you can basically, on a Tuesday night, both of you sit down and say, right, we're watching this documentary today, and then text each other as you're watching it, you know, things that excite you, things that sort of are thought-provoking to you or whatever, literally like you would when someone was sitting with you, right? So for example, if you are watching a series or a documentary or something, you will have a little chit chat if you're next to each other. Just like that, have your phone on you and text each other. Oh my God, did you see that? Oh my God, how about that? I mean, oh, I never thought something like this could happen. So keep it interactive. So not only are you doing things together and you're watching a series together, but you're keeping it interactive, which makes you feel a lot more connected in that sense, okay? And you can do this once, twice, thrice a week, as much as you want, as much time you want to dedicate to each other, okay? And 7th, which is one of the most important things, is do create a long-term plan of coming together. The whole point of being in a relationship is to end up together, co-locating, cohabiting in the same home, right? To have a family, if that's what your plan is, or to build your own kind of dream home, whatever your plan of the future is. Make sure that you are creating a longer term plan of coming together. No relationship will survive for the rest of its life, you know, long distance. So if you think that you're in a long distance relationship and it's great and it's working and you're meeting each other and you like or love or whatever each other, then make sure that you are building a long-term plan of how to come together, whether it is one partner leaving their work and everything and coming to you, whether it's you doing the same, whether you're both moving somewhere, you know, in the middle. So you do need to have a plan there. If neither of you have a plan, and if either of you is not poking that subject, then you really have to ask yourself if that relationship is genuine, if you are really interested in each other, or if you're just sort of killing time by, you know, having some comfort level. And this is called an emotional affair. So you can have an emotional affair like this, but you can't have a relationship if your long-term plan is not to come together. Okay, I hope this video has been useful. Once again, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and if you like this, then give it a thumbs up. If you don't like this, then leave it in a comment as well. I'm happy to take feedback. And of course, if you feel that this may be useful for someone else, please share it. So I hope that you have enjoyed my video, and until next time, take care of yourself. Bye bye.